the reason I wanted to talk to you about understanding the quality of lust versus love is because the whole nation is in the grip of 50 Shades of Grey. And you have to think of womanhood from ancient times, from where we have come to where we are today, right? For at least in India, for years, women were not allowed any intellectual study. It was not even permitted. There are only two intellectuals in our ancient texts, women whose commentary has been noted down. So women were there just to take care of men. That was how it was traditionally. And it all began because of our body makeup. Men, we were hunters and gatherers. Men were stronger, they went out, got the food. And women cooked it. That was all it was. At what point it became that the men were the earning members and the women were just there to support them and to do all the work, I have no idea. But these roles got set. And it was all fine. I think it was fine till maybe even 100 years ago, when women were quite content to sit at home and take care of the children while the men brought the money in. That was fine. But then the big wars came. And the men, a lot of them died. And the women who stayed behind during, especially in America, they had to go and find jobs because they had to take care of their kids. So this happened in the West perhaps 50 years before it happened in India, right? Suddenly a woman was now working and then she had to come home and take care of the home as well. So what has happened is that finding that financial freedom has made them realize that for so many years we have just been subjugated to the wishes of men, and we want to be free. We don't want to be free of men in the sense that we don't want men around. We just want that respect. We want to be equal. We want men to respect us as we respect them. So the search is really not for freedom in the sense throw them out and let's be free, because that's really what you think of, right? When you want freedom, when you want freedom from the freedom from the British was you fight with them, throw them all out, and then we women stay here. Throw out all the men, and we women can be nice and happy. We won't be happy that way. We men and women complement each other, and we need each other. And the ideal is to find that respect in still more. I cannot even quote statistics in many parts of the world, whether it's Africa or America, even America. Women are sexually subjugated. They are used as sexual toys. There is no respect about what they need or what they want. They are used for that purpose, and they have nothing outside the home. It has taken, especially Indian women, a big struggle to liberate themselves, to become earning members, to start contributing. And every time I hear everyone complaining about how, jobs are being outsourced, I tell you, it's this very outsourcing, this opening of call centers that has liberated the women in India. It has given them a life. It has given them a life which they did not have earlier. They were in the kitchen, they were in the home, they were subject to all the tyranny that existed within the house from their mother-in-law, from their husband. Do you know, even now, there is one dowry death every hour in India? That's a shocking statistic.
One what?
A dowry death. Now, what is a dowry death? In India, it is very commonplace, especially in the north, more than the south, that when a girl is married, you provide her with a dowry. Okay? I mean, that was also common amongst Western society. In fact, Bombay was a gift to Catherine of Braganza on her marriage. It was a part of her dowry. It was given to the Portuguese. So dowry changed in character from giving like a few silver, a few utensils, to now you have to give a car. It's become 1 crore or 2 crores. And if they find a better candidate, someone willing to pay more, they just eliminate their wife, the present daughter-in-law. So that is happening today.
But it's not everywhere. It's not all Indians.
It's still, to think that one every hour, that is a lot. Yeah. That is a lot of deaths. And to liberate those women, we're thinking of liberating those. We carry that pain. We carry the pain of womanhood from generations. And I mentioned this to you, that what we know today as premenstrual tension is the pain of womanhood, that the impression that you're carrying from lifetimes. We have been subjugated, and we have felt the pain of that subjugation. This has been a lifetime, at least for the women in this room, I'm praying, to find release, to be free, to express themselves the way they want to. Premenstrual tension is real. It is a result of impressions. And Eckhart Tolle talks about it in The Power of Now. He's devoted an entire section to this. So it is not something that, it's part of my imagination. It is something that has been researched, and there are a lot of thinkers that talk about this. You can actually eliminate that tension that you have in your body by just focusing on how it begins. The minute the irritation comes, you start going a little bit deeper. Say, where is this irritation coming from? Which part of my body is this irritation coming from? And I tell you, the minute you shine that consciousness on it, it's gone till the next part comes up. So what I'm trying to say is that it hurts me that this nation is glamorizing, making so glamorous something that is so demeaning to womanhood. We don't need to see ourselves in this image as being, a sex toy of a rich millionaire. This is not necessary. And who are the women that are going to this? You'd be surprised. It's not young girls that are going to it. It's middle-aged women, mainly from the Bible Belt. That is from the Middle America. The whole theatre's filled with middle-aged women. And it's not that they don't have freedom. It's just that what is a little bit taboo is so much more exciting. What is exciting, is something that you're attracted to. The mind is automatically attracted to what is prohibited and what is not commonplace. And that's what's happening with and the sad part is that it's all connected with power and success. So you're willing to subjugate all your needs in order to marry a man who's got power and success. Is that what we want for women? Is that how we want to elevate women? What is true liberation? True liberation is not having that control over you. Nobody needs to control you like that. You don't need to find meaning in your life by identifying with a certain person or a certain ideal outside of yourself. It's taken a lot for women to express themselves. I know, at least in India, Women that were raped never talked about it. Ever. And I'm sorry to bring up this subject, but this is something close to my heart. It's close to my heart, and as a group that's, of free thinkers, I think it's important to express your opinion openly and publicly and raise awareness on this. That we cannot go back 50 years and put ourselves in that position again. Do you know, this is glamorizing rape. Do you know how much trauma women face if they have ever been raped? It is the worst kind of subjugation, and how difficult it is for them to face life again. They don't trust anybody. It's all about trusting. It's about trusting the men in your life. The men in your life are there to protect you and to help you and to nurture you, not to gain control or establish their power over you. It is not a power struggle. Relationships are not about establishing who is in control. It's about nurturing one another. And that is what we have to teach our children. You're not going to teach your son to establish control and rape the first virgin he finds. Because that is what this movie is teaching you. And that is what it is glamorizing. You want to teach your son to be that caring, loving husband. As much as you want to tell your daughter to stand up and say no and to move away and to raise her voice when she is being subjected to something like this. Enough of keeping quiet. Enough of keeping it under wraps. We have to support each other and raise our voice again, for this cause. There is a lot of domestic violence, even in a country that is so free. And it's all about a distorted image of love. See, lust wants you to possess something with zero respect for what you're trying to possess, for that person you're trying to possess. It's not about, it doesn't consider that person's feelings or thoughts at all. It is an overwhelming obsession that consumes you in one moment and you have to satisfy it. And that's how it differs from love. That's how it differs from love. Love is inclusive. When you love somebody, you include that person in your life. Whereas in lust, you just want to possess it. And once it has been possessed, you're on to the next. You're on to the next. It is never satisfied. Never ever satisfied. It rises like an obsession and falls and rises and falls. And every time you give into it, it only leaves you more wasted and tired, and you're constantly having to explain how you feel, to manipulate your environment, to create more situations to satisfy that. Parents get shocked when they see their children's YouTube history and see what their children are doing. The peer pressure is tremendous. What's happening around is tremendous. Spring break is coming up. Children are going to beaches and parents worry. Their children may not be into all of this, but there is a lot of influence, the group karma effect of what is happening around. We have to teach our children to search for respect and trust in relationships. It is so important. More than our daughters, we have to teach it to our sons, so that they give the respect due to the women, the way we'd want for our daughters. And this is why I'm asking all of you to raise your voice and to do something. We just meeting and meditating is fine. We're doing it, we're raising our own consciousness. But as women, we need to raise awareness and we need to actually make our voice heard. When the cause of women, the way we view ourselves is being changed in the media, it's being glamorized, it's being given undue importance. It disturbs me. It disturbs me, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. And it'll be nice to hear how all of you feel, about this whole issue of how we see ourselves as women and what we can do to help other women raise their self-image, or whether it's even important. And it's never too late. Even if you make a mistake, and even if you've had abuse in one situation, you have a choice. You have a choice. It's just that you have to find it inside you to break away and start over. Mm-hmm. So divorce, I don't think, is wrong. It's not it's not that relationships are not working. I think it's more about, like she said, women are just saying enough. I don't need to put up with this anymore. I have in the past. And if you look at what your grandmother put up with and what your grandparents put up with, they are the ones who swallowed it all and went through it. And they're not doing it anymore. And I think it's a lot about how women view themselves, and how relationships are very very crucial. They're the main thing in your life. How your relationships work determine the quality of your day, determine the quality of your life. And to make your relationships work, you have to start off from a good place, a place of empowerment, a place where you say, I am that happiness, I am that peace, I am that strength. I do not need outside props. I do not require this. Which is why, again, coming back to the meditation, is why we need the meditation. It is why we need that meditation, to quiet all these outside comments and these things that everybody else is imposing on us or telling us, either from our culture or from the immediate environment that we live in. How we view ourselves, becomes extremely important in how we can contribute to others. Because if you don't begin by viewing yourself as a strong, independent, caring, nourishing person, if you have even the slightest bit of bitterness or feeling that you've been mistreated, then that's how you're going to be treating others.